For most of you, this idea of giving an A plus to everything, maybe you grew up believing that to be successful, you had to excel in every single area. You needed straight A's at school and all of those subjects, even the ones that you hated. You needed to have great hair, to have the perfect partner, the perfect body, and eventually the perfect life. And honestly, that mindset of having high standards might serve you to an extent where you want to achieve growth. I'm not faulting you for that. Where you are now is different. You're not just striving for achievements within your own life, but as a mom, as a wife, or a partner, as a daughter, as a leader, you're actually taking care of others. So trying to give an A plus effort in everything and also everybody all at the same time is draining. That, my friend, is a straight path to burnout. And no one wins when you are burnt out. Welcome to the Monday Method. I'm your host, Liz Mayer, life, career, and business coach, and I am obsessed with helping you create the life you love so you stop living for the weekends and start loving your Mondays. This show is dedicated to you women who do it all, from building careers to building families to becoming the version of yourself you love. This show provides you with the tools to get you off the hamster wheel of burnout so you can give what matters in your life the best of you, not the rest of you. Are you ready to create a life so good you look forward to Mondays? Then let's go. Well, hello, friend. Hey, if you are listening to this show, I'm going to make a couple guesses. I'm going to guess that you are a high achiever. I'm going to guess that you have a lot of things to juggle. I'm going to guess that you're balancing a demanding career. I'm going to guess that you might be raising some children, that you could be running a household. That you also prioritize being an amazing friend, an amazing daughter, an amazing partner. I'm also willing to make the guess that you might have some responsibilities in relation to caring for others outside of your home. Maybe it's aging parents. But let me ask you a question. Do you feel that you need to give 100% in everything? Or let me say it another way. Do you feel like you need to always get the A plus, get the 4.0? Do you feel that everything in your life needs to be that 100% effort, like work, parenting, cooking, your home, your body, the way you dress, your friendships, your skin, the presents you buy? Do you feel like all of those areas of your life, all of those tasks need to get the 4.0? If that sounds like you, I want you to take a deep cleansing breath. Go ahead and do it right now. In through the nose, hold it, and out through the mouth. Because today we're going to talk about something that could be very freeing to you or something that might be very terrifying to you. And that's giving yourself permission to let things drop a grade level. Maybe instead of that A plus, giving yourself permission to get a C or a D minus. And by the way, that's still passing. Or perhaps even giving yourself permission to happily accept an F. But before I get into the meat of the show, if you are the type of woman who does it all but is feeling more like a bum than a badass about it, I want you to check out my Work Less and Get More program. The program helps you prioritize your time and energy in a way that aligns you to the life that you want. And what that means to you is you can step into the most empowered version of you. So, what is most important gets the best of you and not the rest of you. Ladies like you in this program are regularly getting 4 to 5 hours back per week at least. And if enjoying life while creating progress is important to you, head over to lizmayercoaching.com and sign up for this program. Okay, back to the show. So, I'm going to share a personal story from last week. So, as you know, I plan my week every week. And so I planned the week. I had all of the work that I needed to do and all of the play that I needed to do outlined. And I was ready to rock. I felt very focused. I felt very clear going into the week. And then, as life happens, all hell broke loose. So, first, I got sick. And I'm talking like mono sick, like the kind of sick where it's like, I cannot get out of bed. And then, just as I was starting to feel better, I get the call from school that my kiddo got sick and she had to stay home for like 3 days. And suddenly, my very focused, very prioritized to do list was not getting done at all. And I kind of had to check myself and I kind of freaked out because I needed to practice what I preach. I needed to recognize that everything on the list, even though the list was focused and prioritized, didn't require 100% of me, at least at that time. Everything on that list could not require my entire whole ass A plus effort because what really required it needed to be taking care of my daughter and obviously taking care of myself so that I didn't get sick again. Okay. So if someone like me, who essentially prides myself on prioritizing my time, my focus, if I had room when shit hits the fan to kind of say, hey, does this all matter? Then I would anticipate that you do too. Because here's the thing, it rarely does all matter. For most of you, this idea of giving an A plus to everything or getting that 4.0 started early, way before eye cream. Maybe you grew up believing that to be successful, you had to excel in every single area. You needed straight A's at school and all of those subjects, even the ones that you hated. You needed then to get the perfect resume, and you had to be good at all of the things in your job description, even if your job description was like a hodgepodge, right? You needed to have great hair. You needed to have the perfect partner. You needed to have the perfect body and eventually the perfect life. And honestly, that mindset of having high standards might serve you, to an extent where you want to achieve growth. And honestly, even when it's just you that you're focusing on, if it helps you get to where you want to be at a point in time and it helps you develop standards and habits, then have at it. I'm not faulting you for that. But now, where you are now is different. You're a grown ass woman. You have a full, complex, and very real life. You're not just striving for achievements within your own life, but as a mom, as a wife, or a partner, as a daughter, as a leader, you're actually taking care of others and you're really serving them and empowering them to succeed in whatever way they need to. So, trying to give an A plus effort in everything and also everybody all at the same time is draining. That, my friend, is a straight path to burnout. And no one wins when you are burnt out. You don't win, your family doesn't win, your work doesn't win, and you just don't grow. So here's the shift you're going to make today. You are allowed and encouraged to decide where you're going to put your A work, those things that really matter to you or have the biggest impact in your life. And then you're going to decide where you're going to give yourself permission to do C minus or below work. And those are the things quite frankly, you can let go of. I would want you to keep two things in mind as you're listening to the show. Number one, if you just cringed when I said C minus work or below, then this show is definitely for you. You have some room to let go of some things. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is I'm pretty sure that what you classify as C minus work is probably other people's A plus work. And we don't need to name names, but I'm sure you can think of individuals who fit that bill. So let me just give you an example from my own life of when I needed to literally start giving myself permission to accept that C minus or probably below grade. There was a time in a galaxy far, far away when I spent 4 hours, yes, about 4 hours every Sunday doing meal prep. 4 hours. And I cared a lot about it because it mattered to me at the time. I was working in an office at the time. I was not working in my home. And I had about, 10 pounds to lose having babies that I kept finding. But here's the thing, my kids got older, my career changed, my work changed, and my priorities changed. And actually, that 4 hour stretch on Sundays started to feel like a chore. And the time and energy I spent on the meal prep and everything that went into that robbed me of the time and energy I needed for my work and my family. So I decided to accept a lower grade. And how I did that is I just found a list of honestly 4 to 5 meals that are mostly healthy, mostly pre-cooked or just require reheating or can be cooked in a slow cooker and requires no chopping or no stove time. And most importantly, are somewhat edible. And honestly, my family and I, we've been eating about the same 4 to 5 meals for a while now, probably over a year. Yeah, I switch it up occasionally. But I'd give myself a C minus in this area, or maybe a D minus in the area of meal prep. But here's the thing. At first it was hard, but now I don't freaking care. Because guess what? My kids are fed. I'm fed. Everyone has eaten. Okay. I'm less stressed. And I'd rather spend time chilling with my family, catching up with my friends, writing, or doing something that fills my cup other than chopping broccoli. So it's just something to think about is where in your life can you happily accept a bad, quote unquote, bad grade? Okay. Think about it. What on that big ass list of yours can be deleted? Or what can be delegated? Right? What can your husband help you with or your partner can help you with? What can your kids help you with? What can you delegate to a team member or a service provider, right? Like Instacart for groceries. What can be delayed? Okay, what might matter but doesn't matter right now or doesn't matter as much as it used to? Any tasks that come to mind that fit in these buckets deserve C minus or below effort. In fact, I would actually tell you if you get an A in any of these areas, you are actually cheating your real growth because you are giving time and energy to the things that should be deleted, should be delegated, should be delayed at the expense of the things that require your time and energy. Okay. Now, let me give you an example of this. I had a client a few years ago who was very hardworking, very driven, and she had just received a promotion. And she was telling me that she didn't have any time. She had no time to like do what she needed to do with this new role. Okay. And so when we were talking about all of the different things that she would do in an average day and an average week, we would talk about all the meetings that she had to sit in. And when we talked about, okay, let's talk about what you do in those meetings, what you do before, during, and after. she would always mention, well, then I take notes and I send the notes out. And I was like, wait a minute, this note thing, let's talk about this. Okay. Now, when we talked about it, she just said, hey, I take great notes. I have amazing note taking skills. Now, I'm not surprised. The woman is an amazing listener. She's very organized, she's very detailed. And the notes were like not just like any notes, like they would be edited, formatted, organized. Like it was literally like a beautiful reference. And she not only like would do the notes, clean the notes, edit, format the notes, but then she would send them out with a note summary of the notes. Like there would be like bullets and then the actual notes. So these were like notes of palooza, okay? But here's the thing. She was promoted in her company and she had advanced, yet she still regularly volunteered to take notes in meetings. Now, I am not saying notes aren't important. Okay. And this, by the way, was pre AI note taking tools. So just bear with me. But the A plus notes served her maybe when she was in an individual contributor role and maybe even a bit as a mid-level manager, but now she was promoted. She was at a director level role with aspirations of growing even more. And these kick-ass notes were not helping her elevate herself. They were keeping her from doing the things she needed to do. And accepting an A plus grade or seeking an A plus grade in her notes, she was accepting lower grades, maybe without her realizing it, in the areas that mattered. Where she needed to get an A plus was on influencing, right? Influencing others within her organization. She needed to get an A plus on crafting her point of view. She needed to get an A plus on tying the work her team was doing to the business impact. And she actually needed to get an A plus on building relationships across the organization. Note taking needed to be deleted from her list, F grade, and ultimately delegated to someone else. Now, here's the thing, and I mentioned this. As she was promoted, she had to go to more meetings because companies are obsessed with meetings. So she had to drop that action and she had to put the energy and time to priming herself to show up in those meetings and influence and make an impact. If she were to sit in those meetings and be a scribe, if she were sitting in those meetings to simply deliver good notes, she's missing the whole point. Every ounce of available energy and time had to go in to her driving influence, driving results as a leader. And that could not happen for her with her head in a notebook or on a computer screen, frantically typing or frantically writing. So, how do you decide what you get to fail at? Here are a few steps. I'm going to give you 4. Number 1, identify what truly matters to you based on what you want. If you want more peace of mind because you're present with your kids, if you want more career growth so that you can fulfill your desire to lead or your financial goals, if you want more confidence in the bathing suit so you can do that cannonball at the pool, I want you to identify what really matters to you based on what you want. Then I want you to identify all the tasks that take up your limited and precious time. And then, based on what you say matters, determine what gets the A's and what gets the C's or belows. And remember, C's are still passing. And most importantly, where can you seek an F? And for those C's and belows, determine where and how you will remove them, delegate, delete, or happily delay them. Okay, so 4 steps: identify what matters, Identify all the tasks that take up your limited and precious time. Based on what you say matters, determine what gets the best of you and what gets the rest of you. And then for everything that gets that C minus or below effort, get it off the list. Delegate it, delete it, or delay it. Okay? You are likely used to underestimating your work and your value. And it pains me to say that, okay? But the truth is I hear so many of you walking around being modest and underselling your capabilities. But here's the thing, your B minus work, and I would actually even go far enough to say that your C plus work and maybe even C minus is probably someone else's A plus. So don't be afraid to make moves and downgrading the tasks and the work in the areas that are not going to move the needle, friend. Here's what happens when you start welcoming C minus grades and below. Number one, you feel less overwhelmed. Number two, you're going to get time back for what truly matters to you. You're going to show your kids that it's okay not to be perfect. You're showing those that are watching you, that are looking to you as a leader, that sometimes it's enough to show up and do what is needed, or to say, hell no. Or maybe you say heck if it's your kids. And most importantly, you start to enjoy your life again because you have more energy and more time for the things that matters. Because here is the hard truth. What people will remember most about you is how you showed up and what energy you brought with you. If you are overwhelmed, always hustling, always hurrying and rushed all the time, you will not have time. You will not have energy to be present, to be attentive, to be available. And most of all, you're not going to align to the real people that matter and the real things that matter. And those areas that really do matter are going to suffer. Okay. You are going to suffer. Your family could suffer, your friends, your relationships, and ultimately the areas where you want to grow. So, in summary, friends, you are already doing so much. Good job. You don't need to give 100% to every area of your life to be successful. I want you to choose what gets your A effort and let the rest be barely passing. And my goal for you is that you have more C's and below than you do A's because it cannot matter all the time at once. Remember, you're not just a mom, you're not just a professional, you're not just a partner. You're a whole, wonderful, grown ass woman, and you get to decide what matters. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what area of your life that you need to give yourself permission to drop to that C or below grade. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on Liz Mayer Coach Me on Instagram, and let's connect. Bye, friend. Well, hey, friend. Thank you for spending time with me. As a thank you for spending your very limited, precious time, I want to offer you access to a free masterclass on how to create personal and professional success without burnout. You can access the link in the show notes or head over to lizmayercoaching.com and click on the link to access this free masterclass. Thanks again for spending time with me, and I cannot wait for you to love your Mondays. See you, friend.